Hey guys, and welcome to game number 68 out of 100 of my rematch against the AI-powered Scrabble BestBot. Tough game on Monday that unfortunately didn't go our way, but we're still only 3 games back, 32 and 35 through the first 67, so a win today would definitely go a long way. Clunky opening rack here, CCEFMNY. I don't see a 5 that would allow me to get a 3 or 4 point tile on the double letter, unfortunately, so I see 2 reasonable options here. Mick for 20 or Feis in one of several places for 24. So which of those do I want to do? The leaves are fairly clunky with both of them. The nice thing about Mick is it makes the bot's life extremely difficult, especially by not floating a vowel. So I kind of like that. It does keep the F, which is a little bit clunkier than the M that's kept after Feis. I don't really want to put Feis here because I don't have an S, and the S hook could be dangerous. So I almost would consider putting it here, but I do float an E, which does give back considerably more bingos. I think Mick is the play. I guess I'll put it here? Not even sure where I should put it. I could put it here as well. I don't think it matters too much. I'll put it here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Definitely a strange opening play, but I like that to save my only vowel and give back very, very little to my opponent. So we'll see if it pays off. Hopefully BestBot doesn't bingo to that Y. That would definitely sting, but it's fairly unlikely. And I draw a bunch of vowels now. Actually, one more than I was hoping for, but that's all right. So yeah, we'll see what BestBot is going to do in response to that. It's certainly difficult to overlap, especially with the C not making any two-letter words. And all right, trade 5. That's certainly one advantage of Mick. It's going to induce a lot of trades like that just because it gives absolutely nothing back. And I'm not inclined to really open all that much more either. I'm looking at Phi right now for 17. Really doesn't give a whole lot in response. ACIN is a very reasonable leave. Does allow some overlaps, but nothing crazy. And those overlaps might allow counter overlaps down the K column on the double word. So I'm not too scared about that. I don't really feel an urge to blow the board open with something like Finca. I wouldn't be too scared about this triple because the only thing that's going to go after the I that will really hurt me is the other F, which is unlikely to be on the bot's rack, but it's only 3 more points than Phi. And honestly, IE, because it's 2 vowels and no consonants, is probably worse than ACIN, and this gives back so much less. So this is easily the better play. Yeah, I don't see anything I prefer to this, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. All right, I draw the V and the G. I do have the I and G together, but I don't think I'm going to have a bingo. M's for 27, okay. So it's probably got another S. And it gives me back almost nothing. Mim takes not a back S. Mims is no good. Mime is, of course, good. I don't have an E. What do I even have that goes after this? I guess I can play like Coven for 26. Okay, that's not terrible. That's probably the best I can do, right? I mean, I also have gems. Like, if Gov were good like this, I think that might be good in Collins. It's definitely not good in WL. Like, if that were good, that's probably the play. But, yeah, I don't see anything really with gems that's any good. So, yeah, probably just Coven, right? I mean, AG is not great, but it's not a terrible leave. It's 26 points. With the C and the V, it's very hard to overlap that. It's impossible to overlap that, I should say. So, doesn't really give a whole lot back. Those aren't great floaters. I say let's do it. Another very clunky draw here. Wow, Jowl comes down instantly. So I guess the bot probably didn't have a whole lot of vowels there. I still think it has another S, which doesn't bode that well for me. Now with Mix and Jowls open. I play like Glug to take out Jowls at least. ABTX is not the worst leave because especially if the bot is going to open, then it could be good to have that in response for scoring. I guess I could also trade here. I mean, there's just nothing to do. I mean, like, these plays are just awful. There's just almost nothing to do at all on this awful board, which I have a large responsibility for creating given my opening couple of plays. Now, it might be coming to hurt me a little bit given how poorly I've drawn. I still think I like Glug, though, just to take out that Jalsik if I feel pretty confident the bot has an S. Force it to bingo with Mix, which is going to score a little bit less. I don't know. On the other hand, if it bingos with Jowls, it could give me back counterplay on the right. I mean, I literally can't block Mix. There's nothing I can do about that. I still feel like Glug is better than trading. Also stops some plays through this V, right? Like ending in OVE that are going to score well, potentially. I think I'm going to go with Glug. I try the other G now. Yeah, this is just a bizarre game here. Alright, so it does bingo. I mean, I stopped posited for more. This board is getting extremely tight, which is concerning, considering now I am down quite a bit. And I don't really see a whole lot to do here. That other G certainly is not helping me. I mean, tax plays for 35. The leave is pretty bad. At least it does create this S-hook with its that could be annoying to block in the long run. I feel like I'm going to need to start creating lanes like this, even if I can't hit them immediately, given my early deficit on this kind of board. Beget, maybe? Is that a little bit better? Saving the X? I don't really think I want to save the X on this board. Tax is a lot more points. I think tax is better. But this is tricky. I mean, another thing with tax is the bot can just overlap on top a lot of the time if it has a tile that goes in front of X, which I don't love. Yeah, and BEEG is pretty gross, honestly, as a leave. So I'm not all that big a fan of that play. Yeah, Beget is certainly not a crazy idea. Does open the board pretty well in the long run. Yeah, I don't know here. It's 13 fewer points, too, which is a lot to give up, especially when you're down almost 70. I don't love keeping the X, like I said. That's my biggest gripe with Beget. Yeah, the leave after tax of BEEG is also just awful. I probably score enough more after this on average that I think this is better. Now I get the Q, too. Not what I was looking for. Yeah, this is pretty rough, but it's still early. Wow, the bot opening with Yawd. Okay, I'm a little surprised at this score. I guess I play Raxed. I mean, it's 39 points. The leave is dreadful, obviously, but I gotta do this. I can't not take 39 points. Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing else. Exedra doesn't hit the triple. I don't see anything else that goes there. At least it opens the bottom left a little bit. Oh, come on. Wow. Oh, I think I'm going to have to trade on my next turn now. Yeah, I can't even play Vibe there. This is definitely a trade. Probably 6. Do I even keep an E, honestly? There aren't that many E's left, though the pool is very Val heavy. I think I should still keep an E, given the shortage of E's, most likely. But yeah, I cannot play through this. Absolutely not. Alright, yeah, I'm trading 6. Alright, that's pretty decent. Probably not going to bingo, but at least I can score well with something like... Oh, actually, Plaza here is... Oh, come on. Dang it, just when I had a decent play. Yeah, this is not looking good at all. I mean, I don't even know what I have now with my Z. plazas to the S or something? I mean, I have to score. Do I just play Azo to keep the stronger leave? Maybe I do this. Plazas does block more and exhaust more tiles. I need to slow down the game here if I want a chance to come back. I could even play Zax. Although I like Azo because it sets up a line for 7s here, and if the bot tries to parallel on the right, I can still hit 7s on the left. So I kind of like what this does for the board. I can't overlap with the Z above Insight. Yeah, I think this is fine. I mean, I just don't see any other reasonable options. So I am going to do it. Now I draw 2 O's. Yeah, I just cannot get a good rack here, it seems, unfortunately. Paleosol with an L, not going to work. I guess I can play Plaza here. That leave is dreadful, but it's 38 points. I need to score here. I'm down so much. I think I got to do this. Yeah, I mean, I need to get lucky here regardless, and if I don't score, then I'm going to fall so far behind. I just have no chance to come back. So I think this is probably called for, and just hope to draw some consonants. There's no better overlap through the ZA that I'm seeing, so alright, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, no huge surprise there. I draw more vowels, unfortunately. I don't know what my path to victory is at this point. I mean, the problem is I'm down enough, 80 plus a turn, that even if I do manage to bingo, I think it's going to be a long shot that that's actually going to be enough to win. Yeah, the bot just plays that makes sense, blocking a little bit. I do have that D for Da, which could prove useful. I wonder, it might be time to do something like this, honestly. Like, I think this is a good play. If I don't do something like this, I've got no chance, right? Like, there's 3 R's left, but maybe the bot doesn't have an R. And even if the bot has to play a 2 in the top right and sacrifice to block, it just gives me kind of a free chance to hit something with Da. I mean, I'm down over 100 points. Like, if I don't do something like this, I just lose. And I'd rather lose by 200 than just roll over and lose by 100 in this series. So, yeah, I'm going to play Cage. No bingos here, unfortunately. I do get an R, which is good for Cager. Probably going to have to just fish again. I expect that the cage hooks are going to get blocked, but we'll see. The R is also good because of Ra. Interesting. The bot is just trying to outscore me, it looks like now. All right. Yeah, I mean, the problem is I'm going to have to bingo twice, I think, at this point. I mean, I'm down 122 points. Yeah, if I play Ode, it's just game over. So I guess I should try to just fish somewhere else and then, I don't know, somehow bingo on the right and then bingo again on the left. I can't see how that's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, playing something like Roost here just throws in the towel because, well, again, 1 bingo is just not going to be enough at this point. After the bot's last play, I just can't play off like 2 O's or an O and an E anywhere, though, for more than like 7 points. So this is pretty bad. Oh, you know what I can actually? Look at this play. Mimeo and Covine. Wow, I just saw that. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the play, right? I could have even done that in my last turn, but I still think Cage was better to open up that spot. Oh, come on! Really? Alright, GG. Yeah, I mean, now there's just nowhere to even play off this queue. Trade 2? I don't know. I mean, I think I gotta trade it. Like, there's just nowhere to play it off. Yeah, I might as well trade FQ, right? There's just nothing else to do. Yeah, just cannot connect. Brutal game for me. Absolutely brutal. I'm not even sure what I necessarily did wrong here. I guess we'll find out. Possibly nothing, but it certainly is one of those games where it just feels like, geez. Yeah, I mean, it just feels like you must have done something wrong because look at the score. All right. I don't even know here anymore. Maybe just Ode to try to set up road or something. I don't want to spend too much time here. Yeah. Hopefully I don't draw the Q again. Oh, I drew a bingo. I have Warish and Washir. Okay, Warish is actually going to play. All right, and the bot finally got the Q. So I'll cut some spread. I'll maybe lose by under 200 at least. Although the bot plays Took. I will still go out and cut it to under 200, but barely. Is Rut my only out? It actually might be. It actually might be. I think it is. All right, ugly game there. 531 to 347. This is going to be a pretty short analysis, guys, and I guess a pretty short video overall. But let's see. Yeah, it wants me to play Feist. Maybe I should. I mean, it is 4 more. The M is better than the F. I just liked how Mick didn't float any vowels. Floating the E is definitely going to increase the bot's bingo percentage. And it kept a vowel for me for insurance. To me, this is probably still fine. I mean, I think Feist is very reasonable. You could go either way. But, yeah, trades 5 here makes sense. Almost is a cool 6, but can't be worth it for just 16, shutting the S and still keeping EU. Phi looks fine here. Bob plays M's, keeping, wow, JLSW. I mean, Mules is way better on equity, but it just gives back so much more. It's interesting to see how patient the bot was here. I guess it figures it often gets something like Jow or Jaw with few on its next turn, and it just really wanted to give me nothing back. I think that's a good lesson, guys, in how to play early on when you have a clunky rack and you have a deficit. Sometimes it's actually better to just keep the board tight, because if you open the board, you know you have a bad rack, and it means on average your opponent probably has a better rack than you, and then you could get yourself into an even bigger hole if you give them a bingo or other big play. So if you slow down the pace of the game, you kind of give yourself more time to get yourself out of this rut that is your bad rack until you have a better rack and you're more well equipped to open the board. So sometimes you actually want to slow down the pace of the game even when you're down in these early game situations, which is kind of what BestBot is doing here. Like, I like to use a tennis analogy for those who watch tennis. Like, usually the top tennis players don't slice the ball very much. I slice the ball a lot, but I'm a terrible tennis player. They usually use slice shots to help slow down the point after they're on the defensive, just to put some spin on the ball, reduce the pace, give themselves more time to recover. To me, a play like this is kind of like a slice defensive shot in tennis, right? Like, you're already kind of on your back foot a little bit. You're down, you got a bad rack, but instead of trying to go for like the winner that you're probably not going to execute, you just kind of slow the point down, give yourself some time to catch your breath and get back, which is exactly what BestBot does here. So that makes a lot of sense. Koven looks kind of forced. Yeah, Jowl looks also pretty forced. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to do here. Like, gig for 12? I think this is fine. I mean, it gets rid of the U, blocks Jowls. I don't think this is a terrible play. I mean, maybe gig is a little bit better, but I still think glug is fine. Bot plays Sopidid. Yeah, sacrifices over deposit here to keep the board tight. It makes a lot of sense. The bot's in a super commanding position. Wag. Interesting. I didn't see that insertion. I noticed Vow at some point, but yeah, I didn't see that Ig. Ibex might be the play here, actually. I didn't see that. Another word I notoriously have trouble seeing. I don't know why. There's just certain words, obviously Fjord and Field, PWN. Ibex is kind of on that list too. I just have a hard time seeing that word. I don't know why, but that looks like the play, because I don't really like keeping the X here, like I mentioned. I hated playing tax, giving back easy overlaps, keeping the dreadful leave. Ibex, I mean, the problem with Ibex, though, is it just makes it very easy for the bot to control the board. Like, it can just make an overlap through this T, and what am I doing? Ibex doesn't take an S. Ibex is actually horrible positionally, if you think about it, so Beget, which at least creates an S-hook that could be tough to block without giving another one back, might be better in the long term, even though it's clearly worse in the short term. I don't know. Wag to me just doesn't really accomplish much. It just allows the bot to overlap and block. I think Beget is not terrible. It's a very tricky turn. Tough position to be in either way. There's no play to me that jumps out as clearly better. They all have their weaknesses. Amazingly, no bingos here. Duality doesn't fit. Okay. Bot plays Yawd. A bit aggressive, but it's got the blank, and it's still fairly early. Racks, I think, is forced. I mean, I guess I could play cot. But I think I want to do this. You know, it's a good way to open the left-hand side of the board in the long term, even if keeping BEQ, I'm not going to be able to do anything in the short term. No, I'm not playing V for 16, putting a V there. This is exactly why you can't just use this analysis and assume that the top play is best. This is absolutely dreadful. Not only does it keep BEEQ, it completely destroys the part of the board I just worked so hard to open. That is a terrible play, exchanging clearly correct. Yeah, I mean, Zaps, I saw Zaps. I think I like Azo better. I mean, this makes it harder for me to bingo. I have to overlap with an A late in the word. A lot easier to just hit a 7 down column E after this. I think Azo is definitely better. Tough rack for the bot here, but yeah, this looks fine. I might have gone with Nanas, but it doesn't really make a huge difference. I guess the 2 ends are probably a little bit better. Yeah, with 3 more R's left and just 1 N left, actually, yeah, keeping 2 ends is better, so that makes sense. Plaza, I think, scores too many points to justify doing anything else, really. Pop plays. Yeah, I could have played Mimeo here, but again, I think at this point, Cage makes sense. Like, I'm down 100. I have to do something like this. And it actually worked out. Yeah, the bot here... Why not Bean? That's interesting. Why sacrifice 6 points to play Tyne? Why is the B? Is it because of the A, maybe? There's only 1 A left. Does it want the A for, like, vowel plays, like Vaunt or something? I don't know. Huh. I mean, I understand the idea of keeping scoring tiles when you're ahead, and the B is a better scoring tile, obviously, than the T. But you're also getting 6 more points. I don't see a compelling reason. Like, there's no big B spot or anything that I'm aware of. Yeah, I don't fully understand this, guys. I'll be honest. If anybody has a clear explanation for why it didn't play Bean for 6 more here, then let me know. Because I mean, I don't think it's terrible or anything to sacrifice the 6 points. I just don't see why specifically it did. So, okay, interesting. Mimeo here, I think, is clearly correct. Erode just throws in the towel. Might as well do this. I missed Fused here. I mean, maybe. At this point, I'm just lost either way. I guess I sometimes take Kadi here. Maybe this is a little bit better for spread. Trading is also fine. The bot bingos again. Yeah, I could have dropped the 8 here. I saw this, but I never hit anything. I mean, the bot just blocks here, and I don't even know what 8 I can really draw, honestly, through the N or the I. Oh, it looks good. And it did actually pay off. I finally got a bingo down. Honorable mention to Worship. And then, yeah, I had Ort for 3, too. Fair enough. Yeah, all right. I mean, I don't actually feel that bad about how I played this game, guys. Like, there were some tough turns there. Beget may have been a mistake. Glug was tough. But nothing glaring. Like, I feel pretty decent about how I played this one overall. Just a good start, but then I just couldn't get anything going until it was way too late. So, unfortunate game today. A bit of an unfortunate week, but, you know, these things happen. We'd been on a good streak. We had an amazing week last week with those 2 intense wins, and 2 kind of not so exciting and just kind of, I don't know, boring losses this week. So, unfortunate, but it's part of the nature of the game. You got to, you know, live with both the highs and the lows and the excitement and the boredom, right? There are going to be some Scrabble games just based on the luck factor that are simply a lot more exciting than others. Unfortunately, today was not one of them. So that's going to be it for today's video. Nothing else to say here. I know it wasn't the most exciting game, but I do appreciate you all watching and sticking with it. Thanks so much for all your support of my channel. Really appreciate it, and I will see you all soon for the next video. Bye-bye.